If you're still watching this video all the way to the end, I need you to know something before we begin. What you're about to hear is not just another story about loss. It is the story that almost destroyed me, and the one that finally set me free. Stay with me until the last word, because the truth my sister uncovered will change the way you see sacrifice, family, and second chances forever. And if this story touches even one corner of your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. It truly helps more people find stories that matter. My name is Elena. For 6 years I was married to a man named Daniel, a quiet, steady soldier who never spoke loudly about duty but carried it in every step he took. We met when I was still finishing nursing school and he was home on leave. He had this way of looking at people as if he already knew their softest places. When he asked me to marry him under a sky full of summer stars, I said yes without hesitation. We built a small life together, an apartment with thin walls, a second-hand couch, and a kitchen that always smelled like coffee in the morning. We talked about children one day, about a house with a real garden, about growing old side by side. Those plans felt solid. They felt safe. Then came the deployment that changed everything. Daniel left on a cold Tuesday morning. He kissed my forehead the way he always did, promised he would write when he could, and told me not to worry. I stood at the window long after the car disappeared, holding the empty space he left behind. Months passed. Letters arrived. Short, careful, full of the ordinary details soldiers share when they cannot share the rest. I answered every one. I kept his side of the bed made. I wore his old sweatshirt when the nights felt too long. One evening the knock came. 2 officers stood on my doorstep in dress uniform. Their faces were carefully composed, but I already knew. The words they spoke, killed in action during a military operation, arrived like a physical blow. My knees gave out. The world narrowed to the sound of my own breathing and the weight of the folded flag they placed in my hands. I remember thinking, absurdly, that the flag was too neat, too perfect, for something so brutal. The days that followed blurred into one long, gray stretch. People brought casseroles and soft voices. They said he died a hero. They said he made the ultimate sacrifice. I nodded because that was what widows are supposed to do. Inside, I was collapsing. Sleep became impossible. Food lost its taste. I stopped answering the phone. The apartment that once felt full of him now felt like a museum of absence. Every object, his coffee mug, the book left open on the nightstand, the photograph of us laughing on a beach, cut a little deeper. My younger sister, Maya, was the only person who refused to let me disappear. She is 5 years younger than me, the kind of woman who laughs easily and asks difficult questions without flinching. She moved into my spare room without asking permission. She cooked meals I barely touched. She sat with me in silence when words felt useless. And slowly, carefully, she began asking about the official report. The military had given me a polished version of events. Daniel's unit had been ambushed during a high-risk operation. He had acted with extraordinary courage, covering his comrades so they could retreat. He was hit by enemy fire and died almost instantly. The story was clean, heroic, final. Maya was not satisfied. She started making calls. She wrote letters. She contacted other families from the same unit. At first I begged her to stop. I told her the truth would not bring him back. I told her I could not survive any more pain. She listened, held my hand, and kept going anyway. You deserve the whole story, she said quietly one night. Not just the version that makes everyone comfortable. Weeks turned into months. Maya pieced together fragments from soldiers who had been there, from after-action reports that had been partially redacted, from a chaplain who finally agreed to speak off the record. What she discovered did not match the official narrative. Daniel had not died in a simple ambush. The operation had been compromised from the start. Intelligence failures, delayed support, and a chain of command that prioritized speed over safety had placed the unit in an impossible position. When the attack came, Daniel did what the report claimed. He covered the retreat. But the fatal shot did not come from enemy fire alone. In the chaos, a misdirected strike from friendly forces had struck the position where he and 2 others were holding the line. The military had chosen the cleaner story. The heroic one. The one that protected reputations and avoided questions. When Maya finally sat me down and told me everything, I felt something break open inside me. Rage arrived first. Hot, sharp, almost physical. How dare they rewrite his last moments? How dare they turn a preventable tragedy into a neat legend? Then came a deeper grief, one that had been waiting beneath the surface all along. I had been mourning a version of his death that never fully existed. Now I had to mourn the real one. The confusion, the betrayal of systems meant to protect him, the knowledge that he died not only for his country but because of failures within it. I screamed. I cried until my body ached. Maya held me through all of it. She did not try to fix the feelings. She simply stayed. In the weeks that followed, something unexpected began to shift. The truth, as brutal as it was, gave me a place to stand. I could no longer hide behind the polished story. I had to face the full weight of what had been taken from us, and what had been hidden. Maya and I decided we would not stay silent. We contacted other families. We wrote formal requests for a full investigation. We spoke to journalists who were willing to listen carefully. It was not easy. Doors closed. Some people told us we were dishonoring his memory by asking questions. Others quietly thanked us for saying what they had been too afraid to say. The process was slow and exhausting. There were nights I wanted to quit, nights when the grief felt heavier than ever. But Maya kept reminding me of something Daniel used to say: courage is not the absence of fear. It is deciding that something else matters more. Gradually, change came. An independent review was ordered. Portions of the original report were corrected. Public acknowledgement was made that systemic failures had contributed to the losses that day. It was not justice in the complete sense. Nothing could return Daniel to us, but it was honesty. And honesty, I learned, is its own form of respect. In the quiet that followed, I began to rebuild. I returned to nursing, carrying a deeper understanding of what it means to care for people in their most fragile moments. I kept Daniel's photograph on my desk, not as a shrine to a perfect hero, but as a reminder of a real man who loved deeply, served imperfectly, and deserved the truth. Maya and I grew closer than we had ever been. She became not only my sister but the person who taught me that love sometimes means refusing to accept the easy version of a story. Years have passed now. The pain has not vanished. Some mornings I still reach for him in the half-light before memory catches up. But the pain no longer owns me. What remains is gratitude, for the years we shared, for the sister who would not let the truth stay buried, and for the strange, hard gift of knowing that even in the darkest chapters, honesty can become a kind of light. If this story has stayed with you, if it has made you think of someone you love or a truth you have been afraid to face, I ask you to do one small thing. Tap the like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video with someone who might need it. Because every time a story like this reaches another heart, it reminds us that we are not alone in our losses, and that the people we love, living or gone, deserve the full measure of our courage. Thank you for staying until the end. May you find the strength to seek your own truths, and may those truths, however difficult, lead you toward healing.